Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of the Family Podcast with your two favourite brothers. My name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And Don, do you remember we were talking about Ruby Franke?
Yeah.
We got to spin the block!
What?
Yeah! Run the intro! Okay, so we spoke about Ruby Franke, yeah?
Yep.
And then in passing, we mentioned her business partner, but she's a problem. She's a problem.
Okay.
Her name is Jodi Hilderbrandt.
Court documents now allege her business partner, Jodi Hilderbrandt, used rope to tie up Franke's children before pouring honey or pepper on their open wounds.
When I chose to leave this cult-like group, Jodi tried to punish me.
One of the patients we heard from said that she was extremely vulnerable. She was traumatized. She was having marital problems, and she went to Jodi in a state of disrepair. She was very needy, and she believed that Jodi completely took advantage of that.
She made me sleep outside in the snow. She duct taped me. I wasn't allowed to speak to anyone. I understand why the public is focusing on Ruby. It's Ruby's children. But all of these theories and these modalities and these parenting ideas, that all comes from Jodi. That is 100% the therapeutic ideas of Jodi Hilderbrandt.
So basically, she's been involved, Jodi Hilderbrandt has been involved with the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, which is Mormon, I believe.
Yeah.
The religion, has its headquarters in Salt Lake.
Okay.
So it makes sense that there would be a big presence there.
Yeah. Okay.
So she went to a school. The school was called Brigham Young University.
Huh?
Brigham. Oh, that sounds, Brigham Young. No, but Brigham. Yeah.
Oh.
Yo,
I was about to say, this get dodgy from the second, boy. Like, what?
Yo, my English, okay. So Brigham Young University, which is sponsored by the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
Yeah, so she went there. She got a bachelor's degree in English. And then in 2003, she graduated with a master's in psychology. Okay, so she's one of those in your brain, Dr. Xavier. She went on to found a company called Connexions.
I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here without that look upon your face. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die?
Okay. This is where the madness really starts.
I'm ready.
Okay. So she basically, I tried to find out what her whole purpose was. You know, when you go to certain websites, they've got that about us, this is what we do.
Yeah.
It's very codified, you can understand. Hers, it's so difficult to find out what they actually do.
Oh, you went to the website?
Of course.
Oh, mad. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still running?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
she's active?
Yeah, it just maybe the payments haven't declined yet. You know what I'm saying?
Say no more.
So, but I think as a result of the arrest, because remember she was arrested with Ruby Franke, she's given up her license as a counselor.
This week, though, we also saw another major development in the case as Hildebrand voluntarily surrendered her professional therapy license.
So this is what she says. This is what I could find on the About Us page. I designed and wrote the curriculum for Connexions classes, masterclass, parenting, principles, and group to help treat those lost and stranded in the darkness of distortion, which addictions, fear, sadness, and all other self-destructive behaviors derive from.
That's so ambiguous.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But this is what I was saying,
Just try to use big words and all these,
So essentially, what she believes is that every single person has an addiction. Yeah. And that this addiction like clouds their life and causes them to live in something called distortion.
Distortion can loosely refer to any of the following. Addiction, which ranges from anything as innocuous as exercise or driving to more severe cases like drugs or alcohol. To Jodi, nearly anything can count as an addiction. You can even be addicted to receiving compliments by her definition. Distortion can also mean you're living in shame or denial, being codependent in your relationship, living in lust, or being controlling and manipulative of others. It's also important to note that Jodi believes everyone is living in distortion to some degree or another, but that she possesses the power to help you overcome distortion and live a life in truth instead.
So her classes are to help them deal with the addiction
And get into the real world.
and
Okay.
through self-accountability and stuff like that. So there are reports that she charges.
Wait, is she on social media?
She's in prison.
No, I mean, did her business start in the social media age?
I think so.
Yeah, because it sounds like very social media-y, like, I'm going to help you get over
I
all
think
your
that
problems.
is deliberately ambiguous.
Okay, anyway, let's go.
So there have been reports that she charges up to £2,000 a month.
She didn't want me to leave her therapy group, and she had my wife send an email message to me of the terms so that the marriage wouldn't end, and then it included that I had to go back to Jodi. I had to pay for it was thousands of dollars a month
For her services, which consist of like online classes. Okay. So because of that, it makes sense that we take a look at some of the reviews.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, some of these are very long, but I feel like it helps with context. Okay.
All right.
So
let's go.
I would like to leave a review for others as a warning to avoid Jodi Hilderbrandt and her teaching and philosophy at all costs.
How did I know this was going to happen, brother?
It cost me a marriage, and she used shaming me and others in the group I attended as control. My former wife and I had our issues, but it wasn't until we had individual sessions that these distortions she said were there turned into distortions that cost a marriage and divided a family. Okay, so that was somebody who left the thing. Let's go to Calvin. Hi, Calvin.
Wow.
Yeah, written 4 months ago. I wouldn't trust this company. They use brainwashing tactics to manipulate you. They intentionally make you feel bad about yourself and use slander. Please stay away from this company at all costs. They are a scam. Okay, Calvin, we hear you. That's been 2 men. Yeah, so I think that we should even the playing fields. Hello, Anna. Hi, welcome. This was 6 months ago, yeah?
Yeah.
I have a different history with Jodi than most. I am a pretty well-known therapist that was trained under Jodi for a year. As I was trained under her, I saw her tear apart families and destroy relationships. I believe she is evil. I don't say that lightly. I have done so much therapy for people coming out of her cult who were traumatized by her therapy. I don't have an axe to grind, but I am tired of watching people get hurt by her work. I am reluctant to speak out against colleagues and other therapists. However, I wouldn't mind somehow, some way, helping people see that she is dangerous. And then Penny Van, 4 weeks ago. The thing these women say are nonsensical. They throw around buzzwords like truth and distortion in a rambling word salad and never end up saying anything at all. Seems very cultish, and one counsellor has been in trouble and had her license revoked in the past for HIPAA violations, while the other has no degree or background in counselling or psychology. It's all very strange and a bit creepy. Definitely stay far away from these people. There are many more reviews like this.
I was about to say, no good reviews.
Bro, this is what I found in it. Now, what I will say is that on the website, it just comes up as like people's text. So there's no actual real way to verify the people. Obviously, there wouldn't be. So take these things with a pinch of salt, but they all seem to be saying.
Don't take it with a pinch of salt, fam. It says exactly the same thing Like, I'm not trying to promote this girl's brand or make her any more money. She's currently in prison anyway, so that tells you all you need to know. And yeah, I don't rate it. So anyway, let's move on and see what else we got to know about this.
So like I said, Jodi's philosophy is that everyone suffers from an addiction. She has a history of convincing, because lots of people who've come out against her say exactly the same thing.
Okay.
She tends to convince the men that they have some level of porn addiction or something that is sexually debased about them. She hones on this super hard, convinces the wives that they are an imminent danger to their family because of these vices, and advises that the men leave the household.
In her final stage, when I refused to pay all the money and refused to stay in the group and was so uncomfortable with it, what they did to me, the coordinated attack to create the solution, Jodi coaching my ex-wife, and fine. I'll share that in this other interview, the exact words as she coaches her through how to make people think that they're coming up with the idea themselves. When she's trying to contort people's minds into thinking that there had been abuse and violence.
Started to feel more and more evil. And I finally, in one of the group meetings, I got up and I just said, this is off.
Warner claims Hildebrand would use shaming tactics to turn husbands and wives against each other, adding that she would convince men that their impure thoughts made them dangerous to their families.
There was a man that had successful business that believed that he was a danger to his wife and his family because he did a double take. As a woman, like if he saw a beautiful woman, he would see and he'd look again. This guy got his own apartment and separated from his family because he was a danger.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I don't know this for sure, but remember when we covered Ruby Franke?
Yeah.
Her husband had left the home.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So, first of all, their current status, were they separated?
Correct.
They were separated, I read, for 13 months, so they weren't living with each other. How much was he seeing the kids?
Almost not at all.
While she had been working with Jodi Hildebrand. Yeah. So I don't know for sure that she had convinced Ruby that this is
Yeah, he was on his sexual tip, basically.
Yeah.
You know, he
that he was a sexual deviant. Yeah. But I do know that they were receiving counseling. The husband, he has actually come out and said that although he didn't have any of these sexual proclivities, there were ways that he was failing his family with his addictions and stuff like that.
When I first came to Connexions, my very first thought was, I don't belong here. I don't belong here because this is a support group for people who look at sex addicts, things like that. But that's not me. I'm not an addict. But I learned through my experience, I had so many addictions. I was addicted to work. I was addicted to sports. I was addicted to my phone. Everybody who's listening to this conference today, you are an addict.
During the separation, Kevin was attending men's groups that were facilitated by Jodi. And during those groups, he was being downgraded and diminished and told how bad he was and that he needed to repent, and that the best way to repent was to not infect his family with his problems, and so that's why you need to stay away.
So again, this fits the narrative of things that people say about her and her practice, which is actually despicable. Like, one of the things that I really hate, like people who break up families, whether that is people on the inside doing things to push their partners away, or like being neglectful to their children,
or someone externally
coming in with like word salad nonsense and trying to brainwash people to leave their families. One of the interesting things, and maybe it'll be a talking point going forward, is that the bishop in her church recommends her to couples.
My bishop asked me to go to Jodi Hilderbrandt with my wife for therapy.
I did her billing, and she would bill the church, and so like every client, essentially, I would say like the vast majority of her clients were from bishop recommendations.
I told you about this church, my brother.
Yeah. So that is a really big problem. Jodi herself had her license suspended, yeah, because she was talking about her clients with the bishop and other church members.
Fam, listen, yeah. Oh, brother.
Yo, I'm laughing, but it's not even a joke. It's not funny.
It's a bit mad, isn't it? It's kind of like, first of all, yeah, you breach confidentiality. Yeah. Second of all, your church is recommending it. What? Why? Like, what is there? There's clearly some gain in it to me, in it. Why?
Well,
Why?
you know what? Okay. I'm gonna reveal some intentions right now. Yeah. Some people, yeah, are sheep. Yeah, and I don't mean that in the annoying way that people use it on social media when they criticize people who don't follow their exact prescriptions for life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying some people really, really need somebody to latch onto, to give them confidence, to give them a worldview that is digestible and acceptable. Yeah, and you see this most in the religious community. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is, because I've met some very strong men and women who are women and men of faith. Okay. But there are groups of people and they can't quote anything from their Bible or their Quran, or their holy text.
Yeah.
Everything is my imam said, or my pastor said. My pastor said this. My pastor said that. My pastor said this. They are following their pastor. Yeah. And I think, I don't know this because I don't know Jodi Hildebrand thing, but she seems like somebody who's very like, I need to validate this. I need to get spiritual guidance from my church members. Why else would you take some? You have a degree. You don't even just have a degree. You have a master's. You are qualified.
Listen, who gave her this master's? Oh, the school, was it?
Brigham
Young. Hey, this is a shambles.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
So, you are qualified, to do this in your own time, in your own competency.
Yeah.
And yet you decide it's really important to bring it to your church. You know, your pastor's talking, your bishop is weighing in on people that he doesn't know. Remember that the bishop will only be relying on everything that she says.
Told him,
or that she's documented. He's had no one-on-one with the people that she's talking about.
Yeah, listen, I have a problem with that bishop. He ain't living what he preaching right now.
Yeah, so obviously that is a massive problem. Now Jodi's niece, Jessi, came out. Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
Because essentially her parents were having a sort of hard time with her and left her under the care of Jodi.
So I was living in Corona, California. We go to Utah for my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. They had a big party. And I got into a fight with my mom. And I went downstairs, took her phone, and woke up. I fell asleep and woke up to a knock on the door that my parents had left and that I wasn't going with them. And that my life, as I knew it, was about to change.
And she came out in an interview and basically spoke about what it was like living with this woman. Fam.
Yeah.
You know, say Cinderella stepmother type business. That. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Jessi would be accused of being like a sexual deviant.
She accused me of being a sex addict. She accused me of being addicted to the point where I wasn't allowed to, I mentioned this on the podcast, to the point where I wasn't allowed to use tampons. I never was allowed privacy unless I was isolated. So that included the bathroom. I was never allowed to have the door closed because she was convinced that I was just constantly. She was convinced that I was addicted to. I had never seen porn at that point in my life. I didn't even know that people with my anatomy could. Like I had no idea any of this stuff, but I just believed her.
Oh, Matt, so this is someone who is like,
So she didn't know,
Yeah.
And obviously if she's grown up in a church, because one thing that churches are horrendous with is sexual education, because the doctrine is just don't have it. So a lot of what you find is that there are pregnancies in the teenage church. In the church. Teenage pregnancies in the church, because nobody tells young people about
safe around sex.
and they don't know anything, so then they're easily sexually manipulated as well, because they're not sophisticated in dealing with these things, because they've not been armed by that community. In any case, so she didn't know that. So Jodi said she knew all of this stuff because she had a dream from God, who told her that she had previously had an abortion. This girl didn't even have sex, bro.
Oh, she was also convinced that I had had abortions. She was convinced she made me do 12-step because she was convinced I was an addict, like a drug addict as well. I'd never done drugs. I'd never had sex. Again, I didn't know that was even possible. I had no idea what these things were.
It got to a point where she said that Jessi was incapable of telling the truth, so she duct taped her mouth shut.
No, this is wild.
And when she went to church, she wasn't allowed to speak to people.
Where's social services, bro?
So people would be saying, "Hey, Jessi, how you doing?" And she'd be like,
"No, come on, man."
She was convinced that every word that came out of my mouth was a lie. And that, gave her rationale to put duct tape on my mouth. And that's why I was always duct taped, because every word I said was a lie. And that needed to be physically reiterated as a reminder that everything I say is a lie.
In this interview, Jessi describes being forbidden from speaking to anyone without Jodi's permission. This included people at the church who were becoming increasingly worried about Jessi's condition.
I wasn't allowed to speak to my parents. I wasn't allowed to speak to anyone alone. If I was at church and I wasn't duct taped, and a church leader came in, because this happened, a church leader would come and be like, "Are you okay?" And I would have to just stare at them.
Because she's young and she believes that the stuff that Jodi's telling her
is true.
Yeah. So apparently, and again, the bishop, I'm waiting for the details on him, because we need to spin the block and make it a trifecta. Because
this bishop is moving wild.
So some people complained about Jessi's appearance and that she wasn't the same girl they remembered under Jodi's care. You know what the bishop did? He gave the names of the people who complained to Jodi.
Bishop went to Jodi and gave her the names of these people. I had to go around. We drove to all these people's homes, and she sat me in the car. She told me exactly what I was going to say to these people. And I would go in and I would have to apologize to them for manipulating them into thinking that something was wrong.
It's shocking to me that we let her escape in our scathing criticisms of Ruby Franke.
Yeah, but we didn't really know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. This information be changing the situation, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, she's scandalous.
Yeah, she is scandalous. And I feel like there are some people who are so manipulative and they come to religion because they're manipulative. And I think she's one of those people, You see this whole dream stuff. Telling people about their lives that they've been living is incorrect because you had a dream. Are you alright? There's something broken in your brain.
I'm like, how do you match the two? Like, cause basically what you're saying is you're some sort of prophet. You had a dream and you're interpreting the dream, and then on top of it, you're now relaying that dream to somebody else. That's
in extreme form, bro.
How good do you have to be to do that?
Yeah. And then when she's saying no, I haven't done. You're like, you have.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you ever watch Heroes?
Yeah.
And there was that brother, he just zoned out and he just started drawing pictures. And then when he finishes drawing the picture, it comes to fruition.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's what she's trying to make out, but her thing ain't coming to fruition. This is stick man. Hey.
And nobody's doing what they're supposed to. It's madness. And I think that one of the things that I would say, and I don't want to cause a panic or whatever, but what I will say is counselors are people and they come with their biases and they come with back stories and stuff like that, yeah?
Okay.
And not all of them are like board certified psychiatrists. And so you have to be really careful with who you're going to.
Yeah.
Because for all intents and purposes, there's a lot of people, allegedly, who have written in saying that this woman cost me my marriage. This woman poisoned.
But how can they not see it? Like, I'm not saying that, like, obviously, I get it because, like, people are dealing with deep trauma, yeah. But, you know, like, when you can sense that something's going a little bit left, I'm like, why has no one called her out? Why has everyone kind of waited till everything disintegrated and was just like, because that thing sounds shady from the jump. I can't lie. When I'm hearing some of this, I'm just like, yeah, the moment I saw you do this, I'd be like, but
yeah, but I think it's hindsight as well, like,
yeah,
as well.
I suppose consensus, in it, when you see so many people writing about it, then it's just like, oh, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah, exactly, because you could think that, because it's, bro, somebody who's manipulative, they're very good at breaking your brain, yeah, making you second guess yourself, yeah, because she would say, you know, it's the sin, you know, it's the distortion. You're not trying hard enough. And of course you want to fight back against it, but I'm trying to help you become a more
I keep hearing that distortion thing. Next time I hear distortion, you get a clap around your face. You know that when you're really annoyed and it sounds like, but the thing is, it's the distortion. You've heard it like 20 times and you're like, yo, if you say distortion to me one more time, Friday.
Yeah, so that is one thing that I did want to bring to the forefront in it, that just because somebody says they're a counsellor doesn't mean they're right for you, doesn't mean that they have the purest intentions. And just be on the lookout, because sometimes it's not the right person for you.
Especially with social media, do you know what I'm saying? Imagine she came out on an advert. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, or whatever her name is, you know, 1 hour session. What do you say? It was $2,000 or something like that. Yeah, $2,000.
Well, no, it's like a monthly rolling subscription.
So monthly rolling subscription, $2,000, and she got a little clip, you know. Oh, hi guys, you know. I'm here to help you with your.
And also remember, it's been promoted by the bishop.
Yeah,
remember
that part is mad.
The referrals. I think they were saying the referrals. A lot of her referrals come from the church, from the bishop. Yeah, and so you have an authority in your place of worship. Yeah, who is supposed to be a respected figure. Turning you onto a monster that goes on to destroy your family. Are you all right though? And this is one of the things that I really don't like. Yeah, I get that you have to have faith, in your religious practice, but don't switch your whole entire brain off because people sing hymns. Are you all right? Like, are you mad?
And I also think to myself, like, what does this pastor really know about his congregation? Do you know what I'm saying?
Bishop.
Or like, bishop. Or like, what was said to him for him to have this view that this person was so trustworthy? Did he go there himself? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
That is a good question.
Yeah. But
because we don't know. But all we know is that when people were having marital issues, the first person that he was trying to get them to see was Jodi.
Yeah, that's why.
And it wouldn't surprise me if you look through the numbers. Allegedly, man don't want to get sued, I got no money. If you were to sue, man talk about suing. If you were to look at the paper trail,
it's been a long day.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was like some sort of kickback, referral fee or something like that.
Man, you give me the 20, okay? I'll give you the 3 that's on my person. Then I will give you the 17 after.
Then you give me that 17. I'll cut you a check for 100 just to cover that. You give me the change in cash.
Okay, I feel that.
It's all dodgy, innit? It's all weird. It's all dodgy. Be careful. And I really find it despicable, innit?
I feel sorry for Jodi's niece, though. That was...
Bro, that's abuse, bro. She should be in prison for that. How can you
abuse and neglect?
Bro, how can you duct tape a young person's
We say she
mouth
was
shut?
12 or something like that.
I think she was like 16.
Oh, 16. Yeah. 16 is still a minor. It's the only way she gets 18, really. So.
You know, she was saying... Jessi was saying that someday she would wish that she jumped off the balcony and broke her legs because she felt like hospital would be a better environment for her than in the care of her auntie, fam.
That's sad.
Her auntie.
That's sad.
Yeah. You lot have heard me go proper high pitch today, yeah? It's mad, but I hate things that destroy family. I really hate it because family can be such a one. I know not for everyone, but family can be at its height a really important tool for people. It's a place where you gain your confidence, your self-belief, parts of your education, your culture, your understanding in relation to people elder than you and those younger than you, and that tie of support when you go through hard stuff. And when I see people who are in families, because Jodi has two children.
Sorry, wait, what? How old are they? Do you know?
I don't know. Yeah, but I know that she has two children. Yeah?
That's mad. So she actually just be doing this stuff.
She just be doing this stuff, bro.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
You
I
know?
wonder who the baby father is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lots of questions.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't really get mentioned at all. But to see somebody so wantonly destroy families, and I'm also in a hard place because I'm like, is this religious fervor? Does she really go to bed at night and be like, praise God, yeah, I've done the Lord's work? Has her brain actually
You
gone?
just never know, innit?
Yeah,
You actually don't know.
Yeah, because it's mad, innit? Like,
she needs a psych assessment,
bruv. It's nuts, but
that's,
you know,
that's big boy facts. She needs a psych assessment.
but it's hard because obviously it's the
I don't even
religion.
say it in jest. I'm just like, yo, like, what makes a person like think like that?
Religion.
No,
certain forms of religion.
Well, you think she got all from her religion?
Certain manifestations from religion. Remember that sometimes the person and the marriage of religion exacerbates who that person is.
True. That's true.
So maybe if she's, maybe if she thinks she's just vindictive, but she doesn't feel like she has a calling from God to do this, so then it takes some of the intensity off. But somebody who's maniacal, and believes that they have a mandate from God, that person, I'm sorry, that person is one of the most dangerous people on the planet. Yeah, because when you feel like you've got a mandate from God and you can treat people anyway because of it, and you feel like you can emotionally damage people because of it, because you're going to bring them to the light in the end, everything is like, I've done it because of the will of God. And that's proper dangerous, at least to me.
Nah, I totally get you. I don't rate it. Nah, it's stinky. It's stinky.
It's stinky.
Yeah, her thing is wild, and I hope she goes in prison for a decent amount of time, and that, people properly investigate the situation and all them triangulation she be in, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Bishop or whoever you are, you know what I'm saying, there's too many links, do you know what I'm saying, to be discovered, so probably gotta follow that one. But that is where we're gonna call it a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for watching. If you've made it through to the end, please like and consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. My name is Sammy.
My name is Don.
And we've been the family.
Bye.
We took off our chains, shone brighter than they ever did. We jumped around in the rain, and we were in our element. Yeah, we were throwing rollies in the river, Versace in the bin. Left it for the win. Yeah, we were throwing rollies in the river, Versace in the bin. Back when we were kings, they talk about their brands like it give them power. Here's my 50 cents when in the club. I was moving shower, I was moving ghost. Most of my dons thought I was moving sour. The beat knocks like Greg, we get lost.